No.
Vlog every damn day.
Hello Jermeethians, it is Thursday, and that means it is time for another Once Upon a Time review. This week I'm reviewing the episode Skin Deep. I have to first start off by saying that this, to me, was a very fan-servicey episode. From my perception, it seems like Belle is one of the more popular Disney princesses of the line, and I feel like the writers knew this and knew that if they effed up this episode in any way, they would have millions of angry fans screaming in all kinds of awkward pitches, and I think they knew better. And they decided to stay pretty much directly to the Disney movie with a couple little tweaks. This episode was good. It wasn't my favorite, but it was good. This episode focused a whole lot more on Fairy Tale World rather than Storybrooke. Basically, the story progression of Storybrooke is that Mr. Gold and Regina are trying to have this conversation, but Mr. Gold isn't having it, so he ignores her. Mr. Gold goes on later to find out that his house has been broken into, and Emma goes to investigate, only to find out that Mr. Gold has decided to kind of go vigilante and take the guy who broke into his house and beat the crap out of him until he found what he was trying to get, and all the while was screaming at him about how he hurt her, and I'm only assuming that he means Belle from Fairy Tale World. And then there's this second storybook plot where Ashley and Mary Margaret are on a ladies' night with Red, which is awkward to me. And they're talking about how true love sucks and how they thought love would be different. And I think that that's really funny considering how boring their original characters are and how boring their princes are in their original stories. So I thought it was kind of like a nice little poke at some of the original stuff. At the bar that they're having the ladies' night at, Sean actually ends up showing up and proposes to Ashley. P.S. Ashley's already had her baby, so a ton of time has flown by. Also, the timing of this episode is perfection because this episode is like based around Valentine's Day or the events of Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day just passed. I didn't plan that. Then at the very end of the episode, Regina went to go visit Mr. Gold in jail and offered Emma a chance to have Henry for 30 minutes and 30 minutes only, and she talked to Mr. Gold and told him that she would give him the thing that he wanted if he just told her his name, and they both came out basically out of their awkward ugly closet and decided to tell each other that they both know that they are fairy tale characters. They didn't say it in those words, but that was basically what was implied, and it was kind of this power duel of, well, I'm the one that has real power in the town, Your Majesty. Well, we'll see about that. Mr. Gold, Rumpelstiltskin, what does this say about that? Then the very, very, very end of the episode, our like big cliffhanger thing is that Regina went down into, it looks like the basement of the hospital and found Belle at the bottom. And she appears to be in an insane asylum. I'm not going to talk too much about Fairy Tale World stuff because really not a lot was changed from the original movie. The only thing that was really different is that at the very beginning, the village is in trouble and Rumpelstiltskin comes to help them and offers to help as long as he can get one thing, and that's Belle. And Belle comes to manage his estate and slowly starts to fall in love with him. You would think that if someone took you away from everything that you loved, you would not actually start to develop feelings for him, but we end up learning that Belle is not really interested in her fiance, who happens to be Gaston. I thought that was freaking hilarious. And she has this big reveal moment where she basically says that the reason why she went with Rumpelstiltskin is because she wanted to be the hero. Rumpelstiltskin later goes on to let her go and tells her that he will basically tell her his entire story if she just goes and fetches him something from town. She goes out to town and encounters the queen, who tells her that it sounds like her person that she's in love with, who is cursed with something very evil deep down, can have his curse broken with true love's kiss, and that true love's kiss can break anything. And for a second, one little itty bitty second, I thought that the queen was good and that she had nice intentions, but it turns out that she was actually trying to weaken Rumpelstiltskin. Belle went back to his house, kissed him, and he was so sure that it wasn't because she actually loved him, thought it was a trick, and basically cast her out. The result of this is that Belle went back home. Nobody wanted her because Gaston went missing because Rumpelstiltskin turned him into a flower. and I thought that was funny. It was really, really, really funny. But I think the biggest fan service part of that whole little tidbit is that he came walking in and he's like, oh, it was just a beggar woman selling flowers, hinting at the original movie. So anyways, Belle goes back to town, and this is all hearsay. Belle goes back into town and she is not wanted by anybody. Her father casts her out and is locked up in a tower, and she gets so like upset with everything that she just throws herself out of the tower. Before Belle left, she told Rumpelstiltskin that he would regret casting her away for the rest of his life, and I think even in Storybrooke that has translated over that he still regrets casting her out and not keeping her there. One of the other fan service things that was in this episode is that Belle is serving, I'm just gonna call him Beast Rumpelstiltskin tea, and she drops the cup when he tells her something that she deems horrific, which was horrific, but he was joking, and it chips the cup, and she goes, oh, it's just a chip. And she took a moment to kind of like enunciate the chip. Like, we don't need any more references to the original movie. This episode is jam-packed with them. Unlike other episodes, it has at least a little nice nudges and twists and winks and all that good stuff at them. But this one was just like, Beauty and the Beast. Ah, crap. What are we gonna do? We need to turn this somehow into Once Upon a Time. How are we gonna do this? The Beast can be Rumpelstiltskin. That is all the sentence. I said in a previous episode that I would really love to see Ariel in a future episode, and near one of the very last encounters that the Queen had with Rumpelstiltskin in this episode, she mentioned to him having a problem with a mermaid and needing help. So I don't know if Ariel actually shows up, because I've never seen like pictures of her showing up on Tumblr before. In far as context, Once Upon a Time. So I'm hoping that they're trying to figure out a way to write her into the show, because I'd be really excited about that. Overall, I thought this episode was pretty good. It was not my favorite, it was not my least favorite. It was kind of just middle of the road for me, because I think that there was such a little impact on the overarching series, although I think we're gonna see a little bit more. I like that we had a little more development of Rumpelstiltskin's character, but I feel like this one really had no twists and turns for me, that it just like kept me super interested. It was kind of just like I was watching a remake of Beauty and the Beast with new actors. By the way, I do have to say though that Emily de Ravin, I don't know if I'm saying her name right now, I'm probably totally ruining it. She is like one of my favorite actresses ever. She was in Lost, and I fell in love with her as Claire, and seeing her in this show with brown hair looking all gorgeous and perfect made me just like weep on the inside. And I love her as an actress, and I love the way that she interpreted the character, and I love the way that this whole episode was constructed. I just feel like it didn't feel Once Upon a Time-y to me. It felt like a Disney movie with just a teensy little lemon squeeze of Once Upon a Time. It didn't really feel like other episodes have been, where it was so blatantly, this is not the original, this is Once Upon a Time version of this story that you like. Not that I didn't like the episode, it just was it just didn't impress me as much as I would have liked it to have. This was unfortunately one of those little filler episodes, so I think that's about all I've got to say on this episode, because there's not really a whole lot more to say. And last week, I am so sorry that I did not comment on some of the dwarf names that I got from 2 episodes ago. I happened to like be in the middle of falling asleep, and I'm pretty sure I was not conscious during that video, because when I was editing it the next day, I didn't remember saying half the things I said. So I'm sorry for not commenting on those dwarf names, and I loved them all. And next time I ask a question in an episode, I promise that I will make sure to feature them in the next one. It's a little bit too late now to do anything about it. So I'm gonna ask a new one and ask, did you think that this episode was as middle of the road and non-impactful as I thought it was? Or is that just me? And not that I didn't like it, it just was not very impactful for me. And I wanna know if you guys thought the same thing. And if you didn't, that's totally okay, and that's fine, just let me know. And I will see you guys all tomorrow with another video, and have a wonderful rest of your night. Peace out. Take a boss. Wanna know what I did with my day? No? Cool, I'm gonna tell you anyways. I spent all day playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. I cleaned my bathroom, and that was productive. I wanted to vlog today, but I didn't because I didn't think he would be interested in watching me scrub the tiles of my bathroom and rolling my carpet with those tapey things. I don't know what they're called. I need more of them because I need to keep rolling my carpet because I found all kinds of wonderful things that I didn't know were on my floor, and that really grossed me out, and all my OCD came exploding out in this like random explosion of grossness. Yep, that was my day.